In 1971, the Grand Prix was held at Paul Ricard for the first time, alternating between race weekends at the Circuit de Charade and the Circuit de Dijon-Prenois. The first driver to win was the British driver Sir Jackie Stewart, and after Alain Prost's victory, the motorsport class did not return for many years. Now that changed in 2018 when Formula 1 reinstated France on the racing calendar. Lewis Hamilton won the race in both 2018 and 2019, with no GP able to take place the following year due to the coronavirus crisis, and last season it was Max Verstappen who drew the longest straw. The 1.8km long straight is the circuit's most distinguishing feature. Furthermore, the general public is familiar with the black and blue runoff areas. The circuit is relatively flat, which distinguishes it from most other Formula 1 tracks. While Verstappen has been the series' long-time winner, Ferrari responded at Silverstone and in Austria. The Italian team managed to close the gap in the Constructors' Championship with victories for Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. Matteo Binotto's team also demonstrated in Austria that they're back on track, though the car's reliability still leaves something to be desired. It may even imply that Sainz will have to start from the back of the grid in France due to penalties from taking extra parts. Now the difference between Verstappen and Leclerc may still be 38 points despite the win from the Monegasque, but Red Bull will realise that it should not have its rival any closer. As a result, it's critical to widen the gap even further just before the summer break. Verstappen's victory last season will give him the confidence he needs for this weekend. The reigning world champion simply knows what he's capable of on the track, though he will be aware that his car is very different from last year. After 2 victories, Ferrari's confidence will be high. The Italians want to close the gap in both the World Championships before the summer break, so that they can attack the rival in Belgium at the end of August. It's therefore expected that Ferrari and Red Bull will jointly decide which teams takes victory in France. Simultaneously, they'll be keeping a close eye on Mercedes, which has been performing well in recent weeks. Verstappen believes that tyre degradation and the expected high temperatures will be critical factors in the upcoming French Grand Prix. In the midst of a European heatwave, air temperatures at the Circuit Paul Ricard are expected to reach 34 degrees Celsius on all 3 days of racing. In their race preview, Pirelli also rated tyre stress as 4 out of 5, with the hard C2, medium C3 and soft C4 compounds chosen. With these factors in mind, Verstappen will look to win back-to-back races in France and extend his lead. We had a good result last year in France as a team. The track has a lot of technical and high-speed corners towards the end, so it will be important to look after the tyres, especially considering it's going to be a very hot weekend. I'm looking forward to another race week where we can hopefully improve on our performance from Austria and learn from a result last time out. Now, on the other side of the Red Bull garage, Sergio Perez is determined to bounce back from his costly Austrian GP retirement. After a tough weekend in Austria, it's great to be back racing and have a chance to put things right. We've had 2 DNFs in the past 3 races and we can't afford that in the championships. So I'm aiming to change that this weekend in France. I'm still in contention for the Drivers' Championship, so personally it's also important not to lose any more points. Last year I scored my 2nd podium with a team in France, and I'm very much looking forward to trying to repeat that. Meanwhile, Gerhard Berger has weighed in on the developing F1 Championship battle between Red Bull's Max Verstappen and Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. The ex-F1 driver believes Max Verstappen's brilliant race management and Red Bull's strategy decisions will be decisive in this year's title race. Verstappen went on a 5-race winning streak after Leclerc started the season with 2 victories in 3 races, capitalizing on Ferrari's reliability issues. While Ferrari has won the last 2 races, Berger believes Verstappen has a significant advantage in the remaining races. During an appearance on the F1 Nation podcast, the 10-time Grand Prix winner, who raced for Ferrari, McLaren and Benetton in the 1980s and 1990s, was asked about the Verstappen-Leclerc fight. This was his response. "Leclerc has impressed me with his talent, with his speed on one lap in qualifying. He's doing very well. But in the racecraft, I've seen a little bit of advantage to Max. He's brilliant over the whole race, using every possibility. He's very strong at overtaking, he's very strong in wheel-to-wheel fighting, and he's very strong at reading the race. Combine this with the strategy of Red Bull, who are extremely good, and the good pit stops of Red Bull, I think it's nearly an unbeatable package." Berger also believes Verstappen is driving better than ever following his breakthrough title in 2021, while seeing room for improvement with Leclerc. "I think Verstappen is even better than last year. I think to win a championship it takes a lot of pressure away from you." As for Leclerc, Berger added, "He did 1 or 2 mistakes this year which shouldn't happen when he's really serious for the championship. At Imola with a spin at the chicane, just finish third and take the points. This is where Lewis Hamilton impresses me so much. Lewis is always there, and whenever the door is open, he's on the podium and takes the points. In these areas, Leclerc still needs a little bit of experience, but in general he's absolutely a guy who can win championships. Now, one factor to consider in the title battle is the way the teams behave themselves when it comes to team orders. While Ferrari is not yet prepared to support one driver over another in the 2022 season, team boss Matteo Binotto admits that using team orders will always be difficult. As things stand, Charles Leclerc leads Carlos Sainz in the driver's standings, with Leclerc currently on 170 points and Sainz 4th on 133. Binotto insists that at this point in the season, the emphasis is on the team as a whole rather than on a single driver. First, what we're trying to do each single race is to try to maximize the team points. Obviously, there are two championships, which is the constructors and the drivers. By maximizing the team points, I'm pretty sure we're as well maximizing the driver's opportunity by taking points off the opponents. The opponent should not be Charles for Carlos or Carlos for Charles, but certainly Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton and the others. There were some questions raised over Ferrari's strategy choices at the British Grand Prix, given that Sainz won the race while Leclerc, who was closer to Verstappen in the championship fight, slipped from 1st to 4th. Binotto, on the other hand, believes that now is not the time to support one driver over another, though he admits that this may change as the campaign progresses. That's the way we see it. The fastest car on the track is the one which is prioritised. We believe by doing so, certainly at this time of the championship, it's the best thing we can do. If later in the championship there will be one of the two drivers that got most of the opportunities, certainly we may try to give him full priority, but it's not the situation right now. So we need to cope with it, but still I'm pretty happy to see those two drivers fighting. Now, Binotto believes that if the team is forced to use team orders, they'll be chastised whether they do so or not. I know that when there are team orders, everybody's blaming us, because they say we should have a free fight, and when we've got the free fight, then they say we should have team orders, and so whatever you're doing, it's always wrong. The subject is especially sensitive for Ferrari because of their infamous use of such an order at the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix. On this occasion, Rubens Barrichello was leading the race when he was asked to let teammate Michael Schumacher through for the win, which he did on the final corner of the final lap. The incident was contentious, and Binotto can still recall the negative reaction amongst the crowd. I remember 20 years ago here in Austria, I heard the booing from the grandstands because I was here. So again, I think it's always delicate, and each single person after the race knows how we should deal with the situations. But once again, what we're trying to do is maximize the team points, which I'm pretty sure is the right choice. So, what do you guys think? Who will come out top at the French Grand Prix? Is there a chance for Ferrari to catch up in the points standing before the summer break? And what about Mercedes? Do you see them challenging for wins at Paul Ricard as some have suggested? We'd love to hear from you in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel, and don't forget to click the bell button to be notified of future videos.